is unsportsmanlike.
Why wouldn't you give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Obviously, my focus is where we are right now.
It will be a travesty if you do not give Shedeur Sanders a 4 or 5 game sample size to be able to showcase what he can do.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. Yesterday, Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, heading into their bye week, had this to say about their backup quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and why he hasn't given him an opportunity despite the injury this past week so far.
He obviously came in Saturday with his back injury. We were hopeful that he'd be able to move around well enough to suit up on Sunday, but put him through a pregame warm-up, and obviously just didn't feel like he was ready to play, Mary Kay. But he's getting better every day, and I'm hopeful that he'll continue to improve.
And if I can ask a super quick follow-up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
What's going on? What's going on in Cleveland? Anybody have an explanation?
I don't. Smalls.
The way I interpreted it, they're not ready to move on from Dylan Gabriel. They don't think the sample size is large enough. They're going to continue to go with him. They don't think Shedeur is ready.
That's a good answer. Did they give that answer?
No.
Why not? That seems like an unbelievably fair answer. Maybe not the one that the fans and media wants to hear, or those fans of Shedeur, right, in Colorado or anywhere else that want their star player to play. But that seems like an insanely fair answer. We picked a quarterback in the 3rd round. We went to him early. 4 or 5 games is not enough of a sample size. We want to give him an opportunity to play, and we do not believe anyone else is ready to play. We may not like that answer, but that seems fair.
And it's a definitive answer.
Well, you said nobody else is ready to play. Are we sure Dylan Gabriel's ready to play based on what we've seen already?
So what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I'm willing to see what's behind door number 3. I'm willing to make a change for change's sake, because what I've gotten over the last 4 games with Dylan Gabriel is a guy that I have serious questions about whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. Seriously.
So what does Kevin Stefanski want out of this?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Because to continue to stay the course with Dylan Gabriel based on the body of work that we've gotten just doesn't make any sense to me. It's nonsensical. Dylan Gabriel is absolutely awful. I mean, you're talking about a quarterback that is small, he lacks escapability, and he's got a noodle arm. Not exactly the combination that you're looking for when it comes to trying to elevate your team. If we didn't have enough evidence, what he did on Sunday, the 2 turnovers in the 3rd quarter, absolutely egregious. And then, oh, by the way, backed up in the end zone, you get an intentional grounding for a safety. One of the most embarrassing moments that we've seen from any quarterback in Cleveland. Just to contextualize what we've seen from Dylan Gabriel, his 25.8 QBR is actually worse than the QBRs of Deshaun Kaiser and Kevin Hogan in the 2017 season when Cleveland went 0-16.
Oof.
Let that sink in.
Oof.
It's as bad as it can get. Dylan Gabriel is a limited player at the quarterback position. He puts a ceiling on whatever your offense is capable of doing. Not that the offense was lighting it up with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, but it's gotten worse with Dylan Gabriel as your guy. And at some point, you have to move on just for change's sake, if for no other reason, to give hope to the other 52 guys in the locker room that maybe something can change. Maybe we can find a way to run into something.
To give hope and to also determine definitively what you have in that quarterback room. You're not turning the season around at this point, unfortunately.
No.
So isn't your best bet moving forward at some point to see what you have in Shedeur so that you are as informed as you can be heading into this year's draft?
So today is Tuesday.
Yes.
We have our first spring training moment of the day per Cam Pratt, CP3.
Oh.
What do we mean? Spring training Tuesdays, we refer to Canty getting ready for first take, and we have to point out when he uses stuff that's really for first take on this show to test it out. Cam is reporting that the Kevin Hogan, Deshaun Kaiser comparison is really for first take and not this show.
That's not true.
Wow, 0 for 1
not
from
true.
Vegas East.
That's not in the notes that I sent back to First Take yesterday.
I would add it. That's a very good note.
No,
It's a very good stat.
I am going to add it.
It's a very good stat. I would add it.
That was for this show.
Wow.
That was for this
Wait,
show.
Vegas
so
East,
are we
0
the
for
major
1.
leagues now?
Well, does it count if he then uses it later anyway?
Yeah, no, it has to be prepped for that.
If it's not in my
Yeah, it
First
wasn't
Take
prepped.
notes, then it's not me.
These were
doing
on
First Take
Sportsmanlike
notes
notes.
for
Wait a
this
minute.
show.
Wait a minute. Spring training is working out the stuff for the regular season. So is he trying that here? I don't know. All right.
He's
Gray
trying
area.
a new batting stance.
Gray area. I don't know.
No, I'm going to give
worked
it to CC on this one.
Okay.
This was the stat
So it's-
4 unsportsmanlike that hit very well that he's now going to use for First Take.
Got it. Okay. Let me go back to one thing.
What's up?
When you said Kevin Stefanski, I'm not even sure he wants to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns. What do you mean by that? I mean, I know that sounds clear, but I'd like you to elaborate on what that means. NFL, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, there are only 32 of these jobs.
Yeah.
Voluntarily not wanting to have one of them only usually happens for someone that, like Andy Reid, if he's like, I'm good, I'm going to walk away. I don't need this anymore. I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I don't think I'm breaking news when I say that I don't think everybody in the organization is on the same page in terms of what's happening around the quarterbacks, right? Because if they were, then we wouldn't have seen how clunky it was throughout the preseason, all of the inferences that they would keep 4 different quarterbacks on the active roster. Remember, they traded for Kenny Pickett only to trade him away at the end of the preseason. Shedeur Sanders as the backup quarterback a couple of weeks ago, officially after they moved on from Joe Flacco, only to not get any first-team reps in practice, knowing that he's one hit away from being in the game. It seems clunky. And so when I asked the question of whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be there, the context around it is the versus that is seemingly set up between the 2 rookie quarterbacks and who's most responsible for those guys being in their respective positions. When we had Mel Kiper on a few weeks ago, he said that the thought around the NFL was that Dylan Gabriel was Kevin Stefanski's guy and that Shedeur Sanders was Andrew Berry's guy. And so if you continue to stay the course with Dylan Gabriel as bad as he's been and you don't put in Shedeur Sanders, if you don't give him an opportunity, I just wonder how long Kevin Stefanski is for the head coaching job in Cleveland.
Coming up, Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL insider, analyst, and reporter, will join us with more on this and go around the league with him next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This is ESPN Radio.
Chris Canty, he's phenomenal on radio in the morning. He's must listen to radio in the morning.
On your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN